Yeah, skin's fucking weird.
Skin is weird. You know what else is weird? Fucking WWE is weird. Guys, welcome to Growing Up Kayfabe, where we are the yes and I almost fucking did the throwing hands intro. We are the YEET and NO YEET, the yes and no of wrestling podcast. I am your host, Joe, my co-host, as always, Darnell.
So try not to stab myself.
Yeah, you're open that in an extremely
and it's only because this part fucking ziplocks. That's the only reason I'm opening like this. Other than that, I wouldn't open it like
this. I kind of figured, yeah, you're trying to bust open the ziplock, I guess. Guys, before we get started, I just want to ask you, if you could, please hit the like button down below. Comment down below what you're going to think about what we're talking about, these WWE stories and what's happening in WWE currently right now. Follow us on our social medias. That's all on Hit Show More. That'll bring you down to the show notes, and you can see where you can follow us on social medias, Twitch, all that good stuff. And you can go down there and it'll show you where you can skip ahead to in parts of the show. So if you want to listen to us talk about Raw, SmackDown, a certain story, a certain PLE, go down to the timestamps down below, click on it, and you can go right over there. All for you. You're welcome. This week we will be talking about some big things that have happened in the past 2 weeks of wrestling, because we did miss 1 week of basically news. So not covering the shows per se, but just maybe some events that happened and then some news that has happened in the WWE recently. And of course, the passing PLE, our yearly obligation, our secondary yearly obligation over in Saudi, Crown Jewel. So I thought we were better than this now. I thought we were better than releasing people like this now. I thought better of us, but I guess we're not. I guess it's the same old shit, different day. We just release people to just release them without them even knowing. WWE releases Baron Corbin, Tegan Knox, and Indi Hartwell.
I think Corbin knew.
Sounds like Corbin knew.
Yeah, but yeah. Indi, goddamn.
Yeah, Tegan
find out you're fired through Twitter.
Yeah. You know what makes that even more sad is I just followed Indi Hartwell on TikTok today. She has an awesome TikTok, by the way. And then her most recent video is her. She did a video with Chelsea backstage where Chelsea has her dressed up as her and then puts the hat on her, and Indy's like, I don't think this is Roy. And Chelsea's like, no, you look fantastic. And I'm like, that's so sad. I was like, she's having so much fucking fun and y'all just fucking fired her. Yeah, it sounds like Baron knew. Also, apparently, according to Amia and fucking some other sources, he was not happy. He was like verbally not happy with the tag team with Apollo Crews, which makes sense. Yeah. I mean, we talked about it a little bit last night, and I ranted a little bit last night about it. It's just, these are all three people who are just like, you didn't give them a chance at all. Every time they succeeded, you took away what was making them work, and and to be fair, that's Vince, but then Paul never gave them the shot afterwards that they needed to keep going with their characters. Baron's the biggest example, because Baron fucking, as Darnell calls him, Mr. Applebee's manager, has gone through fucking 7 characters, and each one he put his heart and soul into, but they just never gave him the time. Some of them weren't going to work. Some of the characters were just never going to work, but still.
I feel like Corbin and Indi both got called up at bad times. That's all it really was. Like, there wasn't really anywhere to put them to begin with.
Correct.
And then it's funny, a little bit. I'm gonna stop eating. What's funny a little bit is that Apollo Crews, he's been just kind of hanging in there for a while. Like, he just kind of shows up on TV every now and then. It's usually for somebody new coming in.
Right.
And then he had what was his name? Giovanni
Vinci, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. I just gave him a fucking what do you call the name? Designer name.
Yeah, you did.
I think Givenchy is a designer, but yeah, like, that dude came back after getting his ass beat by Kaiser on Raw, shows up on SmackDown finally after like 3 months of missing, probably longer than that, just to get rolled up and loses in like immediately. And then I think they had a rematch, I think, and then I think he lost that too.
He did.
Or the match got interrupted or something.
He lost.
And then it's just like, okay, yep, back on the shelf. We ain't seen him since. We haven't seen Apollo Crews really since. And then we hadn't seen Corbin since whatever that last tag team match he did with Apollo.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, y'all was just kind of throwing them wherever the fuck.
Yeah.
But then the weird thing is, Amos, what the fuck are you? How are you even still signed, bro? Like, bro's just literally doing road shows.
Oh yeah,
He's not on TV. He hasn't been on TV since he had that match with Seth. Well, that wasn't on TV. That was on a pay-per-view that he had that match with Seth, and that was the last time you seen them, man. And then I think the Royal Rumble.
Oh, almost right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that guy's strictly Royal Rumble material, and that's unfortunate. Like, that's because he is pretty good too. But
I don't want him to be like the Big Show. Nigga, let him be the Big Show. Okay, damn. Let the man work.
I don't want to be like the Big Show, so I'll just make him do nothing instead. That seems to be their answer all the time when they don't know what to do. I'm like, well, that's not. Fuck, you guys have a billion possibilities. And especially, like, you couldn't have waited. Like, you're going to 3 hours for each show next year. So, like, you couldn't have fucking waited. I don't know. But, yeah, you're right. The call up at the wrong time. When it comes to Baron, like, Braun was going to move on no matter what. They were going to push Braun. Braun was definitely ready for main roster for sure. So, no matter what, the Wolf Dogs had to break up. So that no matter what, Baron was going to get put into some kind of limbo. But he had better chances down on NXT. He was, like, super hot on NXT. So, I don't know. That, you know, there's guys who are super hot on NXT who need to come out like Trick, like in some other stars, and then they just keep them there perpetually until, I don't know, they just get, I don't know what the fucking need is, because it seems like all the stars that get called up to the main roster just end up getting, they put them in nothing and then they fucking fire them. Dijak. They just did it with the other. Okay, well, the other chick that they hired, that they got from NXT too, that I was with the skirt, and like they got rid of her too. Fucking Valkyria's basically doing nothing now after like a somewhat mini, like, overdone push. The only star recently that they've brought up from the main roster, the only 2 stars that they brought up from the main roster, from NXT to main roster that done good, is Mello and Tiffy. There's the only 2 recent ones that they brought up that are like, okay, they're actually main roster material. And there are ones that can, like Oba, Trick, the Don, like a couple of people over there who already can and probably should come over to main roster, but they're like, no.
Yeah, they still need storyline stuff over there. Or then you have what happened to Corbin and everybody else just now.
Exactly.
Where they get called up for no reason and then they get fucked.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. That's unfair. So I'm like, okay, so you noticed that. They clearly know that. Because, like, you're not, that's otherwise you would bring them up already. But instead you just did it with other people just to do it. Like, oh, well, you're popular. You can move up now. And it's like, no, what? I'm popular, so let me stay. I haven't been popular on the main roster in fucking 5 years. Let me be popular here. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Baron Corbin, and even, like, apparently everything's all copacetic with his release and everything like that. And he might, I guess his full-blown contract, like, no compete and everything, ends in December. And what's unfortunate about this is, like, with everybody leaving, is like, you know, the first answer.
All the non-competes were 90 days.
They said that, so like everybody, but there's something about Baron's contract where
he was like, nah, y'all ain't getting me.
Yeah, yeah, and I think maybe something, I don't know what it was. I know Amy kind of talked about it. I maybe just didn't listen to it properly, but they brought it up that, yeah, he's the only one out of the 3 that only has to wait until December, and then he can, like, end of December, so January he can start wrestling somewhere else. And of course, like, you know, wrestling wise, if they all want to keep wrestling, like, all 3 of them are gonna have, you know, they're WWE veterans, so like they're gonna have fucking top card anywhere they go. It's the thing of, like, if they all go to AEW, you know, it's fine, like, good for you. I want the best for you as wrestling, and it's not about like, oh, you're going to AEW, so it's like, it's just, I don't know if that helps the picture for AEW anymore, of like, all we do is hire former WWE wrestlers, you know. So it's like,
I mean, there's plenty of other companies they can go to now, like that are. It's not just WWE and AEW. You got CML, ROH,
people really like Ring of Honor.
ROW. Like, there's a lot of places for them to go to.
Here's the question: is if you get fired from WWE or released, can you still wrestle in Impact?
Yeah, that's the only thing that's weird now.
Yeah,
it's because they have kind of a thing going on. It's like, now it's just going to kind of be weird. It's just like, oh, so and so showing up. It's like they were on NXT. Are they gonna end up back up on NXT?
Because that would be a good way to like get rid of your stars without getting rid of them. Being like, hey, you know, we'll keep an eye on you down there. We'll watch you.
Bad idea.
Bad idea.
Nick Nemeth.
Oh,
because he was basically WWE's golden boy. Then all of a sudden he's down in NXT, and I was like, what the fuck is Dolph Ziggler on the NXT? And I was like, they don't know what to do with him, but they also need a vet down there.
Yeah, but
and eventually, just out of nowhere, they were just like, all right, bye.
So, I mean, I think that does answer the question, though, using Nick Nemeth, though, because Nick Nemeth, a released WWE star, but he was already wrestling for Impact before they got, like, this partnership. Because WWE doesn't own Impact, right? They're just partnered with them.
I don't know. They just partner with them.
Yeah, so I think he could wrestle at Impact, and I think Baron should go to Impact. I think that although AEW is probably bigger in numbers than Impact, possibly, I don't know the full statistics behind that, but I think that if you're a wrestler who wants to stay as close to the WWE product as possible, Impact would be the way to go. I don't know. He might just make cooking videos all the time. I don't know. It's funny that you call him an Applebee's manager and he makes a lot of cooking videos on his TikTok. You're like, yeah, you learned all those skills from the kitchen at Applebee's.
The other place they can all go is fucking Japan. They got plenty of different wrestling.
Yeah. For Tegan and Indi, it's definitely not over when it comes to a WWE run. Like they're super young, so they can both go anywhere for the next 5 years and come back later. Better if that's the case. But Baron's it's a little past the time for Baron. Wherever he goes next is probably going to be the end for him. Probably.
Well, I was called it quits already.
Yeah.
He played football. He was in the NFL. So it's like you've already taken a lot of hits.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just did maybe almost 10 years of wrestling.
Yeah.
That's a lot of wear and tear on the body. I was like, yo, I'm good.
Well, I'm glad I got to see Baron Corbin at least once before this. I got to when I went to that SmackDown double taping. He was I saw that last tag match that he did with Apollo Crews, and he wrestled on Speed that same night. So that was cool. And fuck WWE for getting rid of Indi Hartwell instead of Candice LeRae. Some the dumbest shit ever. Yeah, keep your poison pixie because she's your inaugural Speed champion, of which no one gives a fuck about. Sure, cool. Yeah, because she has so much charisma, character, and legacy in the sport already, while Indi Hartwell has all of that already, and she's younger and been in there less time. Sure, you just gave everything to Candice and not Indi, so why not? Sure, you could have broke them up, which everybody was wanting, and instead you forced Indi to do a heel character, which she is not good at because she's a babyface, and you just got rid of her. So I think if anybody's truly, like everybody knows, like the person who got fucked over out of these three, Indi Hartwell. Super fucked over.
I think what's funny is that when they were making the heel turn, it was mainly Candice, and Indi was like reluctant, didn't really want. She's like, "The fuck you doing, bro?"
Yeah.
And so eventually, actually helping out with some of the stuff.
And that's a big fuck up on their part.
But then to have her come out and tape a match, and then same day that it's released, they're just like, "Hey yo, pack your shit."
Yeah, that's rough.
Like, damn.
I mean, she hasn't been on TV to wrestle in a while. She's telling her family, she's like, "Hey, check me out this Friday. I'm on TV wrestling." I'm like, fucking, nope. That's also
lost my job.
Also lost my job today. Yeah, it's fucking wild, man. It's so unfair. Yeah, the misdirection of that is so, again, that's all on them. Indi Hartwell didn't fail. They failed because if they would have split them, the pop from the crowd for her going against Candice, that's what everybody in the crowd was waiting for. We're waiting for Indi to, go super babyface, turn on Candice because Candice is being a bitch, and then have them have a feud, and then use that to boost Indi into some more singles. And instead they were like, heel tag team. You will not do anything. Candice LeRae will be Speed champion. Fuck, that's good. I'm like, what? Listen, we might be in Paul Levesque era, but there are still some questionable fucking things that happen from time to time.
Like Sami Zayn coming out.
Listen, we're gonna get to that. Let's talk a couple more things that happened before Crown Jewel. Rhea injured, written off TV. If you ask them, they don't know how to pronounce it or announce it because, you know, in the text and in everything else on the, you know, reports, they're just like, oh, yeah, she's out for until, you know, she's healed, until she's better. Undisclosed time because we don't have like a time frame. All the commentators in WWE, she's out indefinitely. I'm like, okay, well,
that's the best way to do it.
I'm like, it definitely means forever. So just so you know, you just told the
No,
whole
that
world.
doesn't mean indefinitely.
It definitely means forever.
It's, hey, they may or may not come back. But also, all she did was fucking crack her orbital when she headbutt lived a week before.
I thought it was Raquel. That was when she headbutted Raquel.
It was one of the motherfuckers.
One of them bitches.
But yeah, that's all that shit was.
Yeah, and
so now she gets time off and be with her man.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's great because everybody knows that the Mania 41 match is going to be Liv versus Rhea for sure. I think it's obvious Rhea comes back at Royal Rumble, wins Royal Rumble, and then uses it to go against Liv, or she doesn't. Like something happens where like Raquel fucks her over or something like that. And then they both lose, and then, you know, still because it's one of those cases where she doesn't necessarily need to win the Royal Rumble to go against Liv. But let's see. Oh yeah. But I really liked the angle. Like I thought Liv and Raquel looked super cool walking away from the scene of Rhea getting beat up, and the absolute goddamn fucking, I'm just gonna say wimps out there that are like, that was too much. And I'm like, it's fucking like red corn syrup and makeup. Get over it. Like that, they didn't actually beat her to shit. They didn't actually beat her until she was a bloody pulp. It looked cool.
As that man said during that press conference, it's still real to me, damn it.
It's still real to me, damn it. They've been getting some crowd reactions recently from some people who still think it's real to me, damn it. Fucking on NXT this past week, Wendy Chu, god damn it, Wendy Chu lost her match, and there was like a fucking fan in the crowd dressed as Wendy Chu, and when she lost, she was like this. She was like,
yeah.
Like, it's real to me, damn it. Yeah, shouts out what Liv's doing right now. Like I told Darnell, best aim in the business when it comes to throwing weapons. Nobody's got more dead aim than her when it comes to throwing a chair. She threw that chair at fucking who I think it was Tiffy this Friday, and I was like, god damn. I was like, she don't miss with it every time. Boom. Jay and Jimmy did their full reuniting for like the Usos on Monday, and that's when on Monday, what's his name? Fucking Sammy was around, and then he was talking to Solo at the car to do his little like, oh, is Sammy betraying them? And this Friday they did the full Bloodline reunion with Roman, Jay, and Jimmy. Roman had to come out there. He said one line. Yeet. made money. He just stood out in the middle of the ring, let Jimmy do a bunch of talking, and then said, yeet. Hell yeah. It was so cool to hear Roman say yeet.
Man, he's been saying it for a while.
Well, he's been saying no yeet. I didn't hear him say yeet.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Bloodline fully reunited minus the wise man. And shouts out to Rhea, Liv, Raquel. I wish fans would give Raquel a little bit more respect, man. Like nobody's I feel like nobody cares that Raquel's back. I'm like, guys, it's Raquel Rodriguez. She's back. They're like, who's that? Who is that?
Yeah, people suck. They don't appreciate shit.
It's crazy. I'm like, do you guys not remember that you were literally freaking out for her like a year ago? Like she was top card? Whatever.
Like, what happened to her is not her fault.
Yeah, right? I genuinely feel like people who just forget like that, like, don't pay attention to things outside of wrestling. Like, you know, to be fair, like if it really was just some like random thing where she was gone, like same thing would have, we'd be like, oh, I guess she was gone. But we knew like she's been dealing with this. It's not a disease. It's just an illness, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much
autoimmune disease. So yes, it is.
But she like mostly breaks out into like crazy hives.
Yeah. Get rid of this talking point because this is stupid. The last thing I wanted to bring up for news was the whole thing that happened around Carlito. Did you hear about the backlash about Carlito and the Chinese thing?
Yeah, people can get the fuck over it.
Yeah, it's so crazy. People being upset about that, but it bums me out more. I don't think it's gonna happen. It doesn't seem like it, because apparently there was, Carlito's gonna get kicked out of the Judgment Day. He's slowly gonna get pushed out, and they're saying that this was supposed to be a face turn / singles push for Carlito. But internally, apparently there were a few people, because that was off script. So that apparently there were a few people backstage that are upset with him, and we don't know yet. We can't tell, but you know how it normally goes. Punishment goes, hey, remember that push you were going to get? It's not a thing anymore. And no, nobody's going to know you're getting punished, because you're still going to be on screen, but you're going to be doing random shit. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. He was on screen the very next week, and he had talking lines. So, but that was just funny, man. That was, I got to learn Chinese. Like that's funny.
So, like, it's gonna be fucked up to say to some people, but like that Asian stereotype is just something like that's just gonna have to be funny all the time.
Yeah,
it's fucked up because everybody does it. Because you don't ever really fucking know until you ask.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just like you kind of just have to leave it be, bro. But whatever, y'all do what y'all doing.
Well, also shouts out Io and Kyrie, who, when asked about it, they thought it was funny. They were like, "Oh yeah, no, we're not offended. That's funny. That makes sense for his character." I'm like, "Yeah, because Carlito's stupid. There has never once been a time in Carlito's whole entire career where he has ever played a even small, slight version of a smart guy who knows about anything going on around him at all. He has always played a conceited muscle guy or chill guy who eats an apple and just wants to cause problems. He has never once been intelligent in any way, shape, or form. So it makes perfect sense for him to be like, how stupid would it be if he was like, oh man, those Japanese girls are something. I love Japan. And you'd be like, who the fuck wrote that? Let's talk Crown Jewel. Let's talk about it. We are now done with all of our desert obligations. Our Saudi Arabia obligations for the year are now officially complete. First things first, Cody's going to lose his finger. You saw him put that ring on?
So dumb. All of it.
I was like, what I hate is like all these photo ops too. It's like you could tell nobody there wants to do it. Triple H don't want to do it. None of the wrestlers want to do it. Everybody's uncomfortable. They're like, nowhere ever do we go ever do we have to do this with anybody. That we're forced to do this. It's usually an obligation, like not an obligation, but something that might come up. Like, hey, we're in the UK. You want to take a photo with the fucking guy or whatever? Sure, whatever. But here in Saudi, it's like, yeah, we have to do these. We have to take like 70 photos with all the stuff and, with these princes or whatever, whoever the fuck. And I'm like, dude, it's embarrassing. But yeah, that was funny.
When you're bad at creative.
Yeah.
Vince. You got to go seek money.
Yeah. That's the big answer. I explained it to Ian recently, and I explained it to Reese. I'm like, it's just money. They give us money, and they give us so much money and it's getting worse. Every renegotiation ends with them asking for something more that just makes us in the US not get anything. And it's not about like share. It's that. It's like they're not getting this because they're such big fans, or they're getting it because there's princes that are paying big money for it, and they're not caring about the product overall. They just want things for them. That's what they've said. We want a WrestleMania type PLE, and that's why they got Crown Jewel, and that wasn't big enough. So now we want WrestleMania type matches because they see what WrestleMania looks like, and they're like, well, we want those types of matches. And it's like, dude, what? You can't have that. That's not how wrestling works. They don't care.
And then Triple H dashing all the dreams on Friday. They're all cheering WrestleMania, and he's like, yeah, it's in April.
Yeah, I love that part. He's like, WrestleMania will be in Las Vegas this year, April 19th and 20th. And I'm like, my guy, thank you so much. Don't ever bring that shit over there. Hey, guess what? If you want to have the worst WrestleMania of your life, yeah, bring it over there. Go ahead. Anyway, Crown Jewel, still a good PLE. shouts out Bianca and Jade putting on a banger of a fit. All four of those teams put on a great tag team match, fatal 4-way tag team match. The best thing to point out is Bianca's outfit getting everywhere. Somehow Jade's outfit didn't come apart, but Bianca's shit went everywhere, all over the ring.
It does. No matter what the hell she's doing.
That's so funny. Bianca, extra heavy duty super glue next time. Extra. She's like, I don't know what the fuck they have here. They had some industrial glue shit. I don't know. What was your match of the night for Crown Jewel?
I would say the Bloodline stuff, just because of how much more it's progressed in the story. Because I immediately clocked it and was like, oh, this is gonna be bad. When only only when Jimmy came out with Roman. Because I thought they're gonna do like Roman. Obviously, Jimmy was there, and then I thought they were gonna flip just basically splice in Jay's music, to like transition in. But for him to be in the crowd, it's still showing that he's not really in it for them.
Right.
He's claiming, hey, we need to be equals, but still not doing equal shit.
No.
But then you got Roman on the other hand, while Jay's coming down, making all these fucking faces.
Upset spaghetti.
And then during the match, he tags Jimmy in.
Yeah.
And then the crowd saying we want Roman, and then Roman looking around like, yeah. And he's just like, he does the bullshit.
Yeah.
He does his hand thing, and Jay immediately was like, nigga, going to my brother.
Yeah. That we've talked about it a number of times on this podcast, but it's like the storytelling by everybody in that family. It gets better every time. And that was incredible. Just small things that tell a lot in the story, that there's still more to go with this. Jay's not fully over this. Roman's not sure how to deal with all this. Jimmy's the only one who's like, can we all get along, please? Please.
Yeah, Sammy coming out to help.
Unreal.
That also fucking everything up. Because at first I really was just like, they shouldn't be standing across from each other.
Yeah.
And then they both went to hit him at the same time. And I was like, yep, here it is. And obviously, almost nobody saw what happened. They just thought Sammy hit him.
Yeah.
And he's just getting pushed to the side. And it's like, Nikki, you shouldn't have been here to begin with. Anywhere in this storyline.
No.
And you're just doing it again.
Interestingly enough, for some reason, people think that was a botch spot. And I'm like, do you think they... I was like, why would they botch that? Because they're saying... sorry. They're saying that... When has Sammy ever gone for a haluva kick in the middle of the ring? And I'm like, today he did. Like, fucking, I don't know. That's just what happened. Like, it's for the story build. I was like, there's no shot in the world that Roman and Sammy would both go in at the same time and not Jimmy and Jay. And like, there's no way. I was like, that was on purpose. It's meant to seem like an accident, like it usually does. That's just how it goes. So, yeah.
What would have been better though is for Solo to actually betray them, because Roman was already in that corner, and he Solo could have just been backing up to seem like oh no, and not really worried about Roman being there. But the haluva kick happened, and he hits Roman, and then he acts like he's sad, and then he just leaves with Solo. And he's just like, he treated me better.
But he didn't leave with Solo.
I was on my ass. No, he didn't leave with Solo. I'm saying that's what should have happened.
Oh, okay.
If he actually betrayed everybody else.
Right.
He would have haluva kicked Roman and then act like he was surprised about it. And then walked out with Solo.
Yeah.
Because now there's hella clips coming back up of Jay or Jimmy. Mainly Jay, obviously, always. Not being with his shit. Just bro, you need to get the fuck out of here. You ain't partnering none of this.
Yeah.
And it was all those Solo nah, I got you.
True. Yeah. I think that would have been a little bit better. But obviously, I was wondering right there. I was wondering in the ring. I was like, heel turn, ? Sammy heel turn right now? I don't think that'll work. But, yeah, no, they need him for the baby face to It's one of those things, no matter what anybody thinks that would be better, because it probably would be, it's what's gonna happen. Sammy's gonna join the team. Inevitably, there's gonna be a lot of back and forth, but he's inevitably gonna join the team, and it's gonna be the Usos, Roman Reigns, and Sami Zayn versus Solo Sikoa's Bloodline 2.0. For sure.
I think my favorite thing that's been on the interwebs about all this bullshit is people saying, "Oh, why are they rushing this stuff? Why are they rushing the reunion?" And I'm just like, and there's always somebody smart in the comments saying, "Do you not realize Survivor Series is next month in November? At the end of the month, they only have 6 weeks. What did you want, a long draw, another 6 months?"
Yeah.
Of Jay coming back.
Ridiculous. Why are they rushing it? I'm like, dude.
Like, yo, you're crazy.
This has been, and again, this isn't rushing it. We've been anticipating this for months, that this is what's going to end up happening. Since the moment that Roman came back, we were like, this is probably what's going to happen. And so we have been building to that for months now. It's like, what do you mean rushing it? It's happening now. We've been building towards it. Now it's happening. So.
Motherfuckers is dumb.
Yep, for sure.
And actually was great. Well, that's just a 50-50 thing where people are too impatient. And then there's people who are patient.
Yeah.
To where like they're just like, just give it time. And then the other people are just like, no, this and this needs to happen. And it's like, okay, just give it time, bro. Or never mind, this isn't 50-50. This is now in the thirds.
Yeah.
You got the motherfuckers who just absolutely have these crazy stories in their head of what should happen, and then that doesn't happen, and they call the whole thing bullshit. And you're just like, why were you that deep in your own conviction,
your own
bro?
Story? Yeah.
Dude, like, good lord.
Here's a fucking thought. Open your own promotion and write those stories out. There you go. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. You book it. You go book it, motherfucker. Shit. I'd say match of Crown Jewel was the triple threat, LA Knight, Andrade, and Melo. I mean, that's one of those where you're like, story, no story. This match is going to be a banger. These dudes go out there and put on shows. Shouts out LA Knight, who recovered from a fucking landed on the ropes on his balls botch.
Oh, yeah.
But then quickly, but even we were saying it, everyone says it, Mania said it. He needs to get rid of that move. He needs to fucking stop doing that. You're 43, I think, now. You got to stop doing that fucking move. We get it. You can jump up there. Hell yeah. You know what I do like that you can do that you haven't messed up yet? The thing where you go from the top, the second rope to the top rope, and then you jump and do the elbow drop. It's not the coolest thing in the world, but hey, it's something. And it's not you running up to do something that you almost botch every time.
Yeah.
Fucking somebody.
Once you hit the threshold, bro.
Yeah.
Once you hit that age.
Yeah. That's it.
Cut all the crazy shit out. Look at Edge.
Went
over the AEW, did the weirdest, ugliest fucking leg drop off the top of that cage. Now you're on the shelf.
Now he's done. Yeah, he's done too. He just announced he's done. Like he can't. He's like, my body won't allow it anymore. Fuck it. It's over.
Yeah, him coming back to begin with was already crazy.
That was insane. To do a type run. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was right down the middle. Yeah, they're trying to call out Andrade for botching. Like he did his moonsault, where he does the moonsault, lands, does another backflip moonsault to do it on the ground, and his knees landed on LA Knight. I'm like, fuck, they barely. What are we talking about here? I was like, I know I pointed out the botch, but that's a botch that's like incredibly noticeable and something that happens all the time. Everything else in the match was fine, but people pointing out some dumb bullshit about. I'm like, dude, Andrade, Melo, especially Melo. Melo's, it comes from, you look back like 10 episodes where I'm just completely shitting on Melo. He was botching lines, botching moves. Side note to that, you probably already know this now too, but like it's come to fruition now that full circle that Cody and him botch was actually a botch and was like, I guess, because Melo has that same type of move and they were both supposed to go for it, but then Cody was supposed to catch him in the Cody cutter and land the move. But instead, they fucking flew over each other. So knowing now that was actually a botch is fucking hilarious. But anyway, Melo is so much better from when he first came up to the main roster to now. Came very much into his heel character. I almost don't even want him to go back. I wanted him to go back to being babyface. Now I kind of want him to stay heel. him saying shit like, when I get the US belt, I'm gonna bring back the spinner belt. And I'm like, that would be fucking awesome if Melo did that.
Yeah, it would be for sure.
So shouts out to them. Match of the night from me. But everything was really great. You know, the Liv Morgan match, what can I say except for that? It'd be nice if she could just win one by herself. It'd be nice if she could just win. It'd be nice if she could win one by herself, Darnell.
She's a heel. And her whole thing is, and she said it to Rhea a bunch of times, especially I think during the last match. You may be bigger and stronger, but I'm smarter than you.
Yeah.
So she's just being a rat.
Yeah. And what helps her character more is having all of this stuff, like having Raquel, having the title, having the Crown Jewel achievement on her, having Dom, having the Judgment Day, is the whole concept of her character being like, it all revolves around me. Everybody revolves around me. And it really seems like that with everything. It seems like everything falls in her, you know, she's also, it's like her luck perk is like up to 10, up to 11. And it's like everything just happens to fall in her favor. And that's great for her character. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna, and obviously with Rhea being gone, it's gonna take other people get the challenge for the fucking belt now.
Yeah.
Like she won't have to deal with her. Like she just won't be there in the back of her head.
Yeah.
So she's like, all right, cool, whatever. Now anybody else can step the fuck up and try to get this belt. You're gonna lose, but gang shit.
I'm concernicus that they're gonna make her do another program with Becky. Not in the sense that I'm concernicus that Becky's going to win it, but I think that would be a waste of time program. But because she called, she out of nowhere started bringing up the accolade that, you know, it wasn't out of nowhere because they're bringing up Saudi experiences and she won in Saudi, but you know, she keeps bringing up that she beat and retired Becky Lynch, and I'm like, oh well, Becky's not retired, so I think that's a weird way to say that. So I think Becky's gonna come back soon. And fucking she's gonna be doing her braggadocious shit and then whoa.
That might not be the case.
What do you think's gonna happen?
Because earlier this week, Jonathan Coachman, Mr. Loudmouth, since you know you don't have to, he ain't got no NDAs, nothing on him.
Yeah.
Said apparently Becky was asking for $2 million a year, and management was like, nah, and that's why she's gone right now. They wouldn't give her the money. She was like, all right, cool, whatever. So
Tony Khan will give her $2 million.
I don't think that nigga could give anybody any more money, to be honest.
His dad's like, no
point,
more.
I'm pretty sure he's dipping into the Jacksonville Jaguars like money.
He's gotta be
to keep floating AEW. Because apparently like everybody in House of Black signed some crazy contract. Swerve just signed some crazy renewal.
Jeez.
You got Mercedes.
Oh yeah,
you got
she
Moxley.
trained him to begin with. She was the first one to start training him.
Yeah, like there's every time one of these motherfuckers gets signed, it was such and such money, and it's like, dude.
You seen that clip from Flagrant podcast because Cody went on Flagrant. You see him talk about like he said how much more he was making than from like his original contract. He didn't say an actual. Go ahead.
An actual number.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, honestly, that's probably under NDA. They're just like, yo, don't talk about that.
All he could say,
we don't need anybody coming after us.
Oh yeah, somebody's gonna. What he said was too much. Even with how little it was too much because they were asking like they said. So when Vince came to you, because Vince flew out to him to get him back. Oh Jesus. Vince flew out to him to get him back. They asked, how much did he offer you? He said that he slipped a piece of paper to him and told him, this is how much we'll pay you to come back. And he said, all I can say is that it was 15 times what I was already making. And he's like, so it's a ton of money. And I'm like, that's so much. Like you can already just assume it's a lot of money. Like just from like what he was making, he was already making a ton of money. 15 times? Come on, dog. Somebody in the company's going to be like, I want to know how much he makes.
Yeah, for sure.
CM Punk's going to be the first one. I want to know. Trying to think, because the thing about Crown Jewel is I want to bring up the matches for the crown jewel champions, but it's just like, who gives a shit? You know, it's just like, again, we talked about Livs and that was good, but the Gunther and Cody match was great. That was a great overall like wrestling match. You know, there's not a whole lot of story to tell there. It was interesting. The most interesting part was at the end when Cody wins and, you know, Gunther is like, gives him respect, but is like really pissed off. So that was interesting to see. You know, maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. We've had, you know, in all of our episodes, we've had only one person who's commented going against something we've said. And it was one person going against you saying, how do you not think that talking on the mic is like the biggest thing or something like that? And I feel like people will go against me on this maybe, but if I'm wrong, at least that the crowd last night for fucking Cody Gunther's match, super disrespectful the whole time. Fuck them. They were chanting nonsense, doing the phones for like 10 minutes straight. They didn't fucking stop. And there was no chance for Cody or Gunther or anything. It was all fucking random chants, random songs. Their songs in Saudi or whatever the fuck. Doing the phone thing. And I was like, can they shut the fuck up for like a minute and like, I don't know, chant anything else about this 40-minute match that they're getting right now? They couldn't give a fuck less. And it made me more mad. I'm like, why do you guys get this? Why do you guys get the champion versus champion thing when you don't even give a fuck? You got little kids running around. You got women turned around in the aisles looking at the fucking crowd, looking at nothing. You got princes who are like half asleep like this, not caring. Man. Tell me if I'm wrong, you guys tell me. Maybe they were into it too. Maybe that means they were super into it, but it's not.
The only problem I had with the crowd were those fucking kids in that corner next to the ramp.
Yep.
Like jumping on every single person. I was like, yo, relax, man. Mm-hmm. Like, because then if you get hurt, it's the wrestler's fault all of a sudden. Yeah. It's like, no, this is the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
And to whoever the fuck said some shit in the comments, I didn't even know about this until just now. I'll probably go look, but fuck you. Fuck you 2 times. That's just what I'm saying for right now.
I feel like there was another one that we were like, we were like, oh yeah, I forgot that this was happening. We just pull it up.
No, for me, I forgot the LA Knight triple threat thing was happening.
Yeah.
The one, actually, we can say this. It wasn't even a fucking match. Randy Orton and Kevin.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
The bell never rung or anything. They just started beating the hell out of each other.
Beat the shit. Fucking Michael Cole trying to get inside his inner JR. He was like, what would him and Corey, what would possess you to do this, KO? What is going on inside of KO's mind that would make him do this to Randy? Why, Kevin? And I'm like, all right, just call him a son of a bitch. Just call him, Kevin, you son of a bitch. You asshole. Yeah, that was good, though. It was definitely, I feel like, you know, they've been going with the 5 matches, and I think the 6th match pushed their time limit, and they were like, let's just make this into... And it did forward the story, to be honest. Like, you know, you saw it, and you're like, you didn't need this to be a match after all, turns out.
I mean, Survivor Series is the next PLE, but it's like, are you just going to have them either A, beating the dog shit out of each other every day until then, or are you going to... just not have them on TV, like have them both on, like have them there at separate times all the time, or there's like security around probably around Randy most of the time.
Right.
Be on the lookout for Kevin because he might just start sneaking them, which would be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
If they came down to that.
Because are they still doing? I'm trying to remember because whoever wins Elimination Chamber at Survivor Series. Oh no, Elimination Chamber is a whole different PLE. That's right. Never mind.
Yeah, that's usually in January.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Survivor Series would be the one to do it at.
I think it's the last PLE of the year too, which is
yeah. Yeah, because I don't have one in December.
Yeah, but that means.
Well, they have a Saturday night main event that they're doing in December. Which they said they're kind of
be taped.
Probably.
Because I think they did that last year, where like the last couple shows of them of the year were already taped, and everybody was basically on holiday.
Yeah, that would make sense to do. The match that we're also forgetting is the Seth versus Bronson Reed, which was a great match. I mean, shouts out the attire of Bronson Reed. Shouts out both of their fucking ring attire. That was awesome. And shouts out last Monday, fucking Seth ripping the jacket off to have the same jacket. What the fuck was that, Seth? It's crazy.
I don't know. That shit was probably uncomfortable as hell to have on.
Two jackets. Oh shit. But yeah, the shouts out that match. That was probably it's underrated at that point. I don't know why I'm forgetting about that match because it was insane. The super stomps, the tsunami, shit. I mean, fucking great match. And then just the end, like,
is fucking himself up.
Yeah,
with the steel steps.
Yeah. Like I don't, and then just the end to like be like, is this really like the end of it? Because the way Bronson Reed gets up, and just the great moment between them of Bronson getting up, bloodied face, that awesome attire, and Seth being like, "What are you?" I think that Bronson Reed is in like big picture for the next few PLEs. I think like he's somewhere in the main picture at Survivor Series. He's definitely in the Royal Rumble. I think for sure he's got to be one of the participants in Elimination Chamber.
I would love to have a big man in there.
Yeah, that's your guy. And I think that is pretty much it for the Saudi show. Very weird at the end, in my opinion. I don't care if again.
No. Adam Pearce getting RKO'd.
Oh,
that's gonna lead us into some shit.
How dare you RKO Scrap Daddy like that? That shit made me so fucking pressed. I was so fucking mad. You RKO Scrap Daddy. He did nothing wrong. He always said was Randy. Yeah, but he took that RKO.
Yo, actually, a fucking year ago, when Randy was still on Raw, or this might have been, this was right when he had came back. And he was just like, yo, you getting fined 50 G's for that RKO. And he gave him 100. And he was like, what's the other 4? He's like, I might do it again sometime.
Oh, shit.
He paid his fine a year in advance.
Damn. That's good. Now that's good writing right there.
I just thought about that. Like, why did he take it?
Continuity is king. Let's go.
Holy shit.
That's awesome. Shouts out Orton. Shouts out Scrap Daddy. It was very weird at the end. It's all for you crown jewel pieces of shit. Like it fucking so weird. No scenario ever in wrestling in a WWE PLE would you have the extremely heel women's champion and the extremely face of the company babyface champion, men's champion, promoting championships together at the same time, like raising them up like in front of some crowd, acting like they're like, we're cool and copacetic. Look at us. We're like, no, what? But we did
all for that place.
It's all
that like whatever that like that center is where they have all that wrestling shit.
Yeah,
that's where the belts are going.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just more shit for them to throw in there.
Yep, 100%.
For people to look at. That's all like any of this shit is. Because especially how annoyed we were already getting. This bitch wasn't even there yet. And here they're showing the damn belt at every single show. And we're like, but it's just pictures and more bullshit for them to put in there.
100%.
So just silly. Like, God damn, bro. You're kind of annoying.
Disappointing, but hey, it's over. We can move on. What I always try to appreciate about Crown Jewel is I always tell everybody, I'm like, just, it's going to be annoying, but let's just keep focusing on the stories. We are still going to build our stories. That's usually like what we're just trying to do through all this. We're like, listen, it's our obligation. We have to do this shit. Let's just try as best we can to focus on us and try. Because what they want to do all the time over in Crown Jewels, they want to fuck up our stories. Because again, they don't care. They don't care what stories we're on right now. They just want crazy matches, which is fine. Why don't you sign with AEW? Why don't you sign with them? And I mean that in a nice way. AEW will give you a bunch of crazy matches. They'll give you fucking glass shattering, fucking barbed wire on fire. They'll give you whatever you want, doggy. Insane. But guys, that's enough for this episode. And we appreciate you for watching. We appreciate you for staying active in the comments. Argue with Darnell in the comments down below.
That dude's probably the only person I'm ever going to respond to be honest.
That's fine. It's fine. I do encourage it. Anything helps. Well, not anything. Just chill out. Be cool. But thank you for watching this episode, and we'll see you guys next week for some more Growing Up Kayfabe. Bye, guys. Bye, everybody.